Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with the latest of my videos, and in this one I'm going to talk about forgiving cards. Now, I've got boss monsters displayed here because those are the ones that I want to talk about right now, but a forgiving card doesn't have to be just a boss monster. It could be any card. It could be a spell or a trap or a monster that allows you to swing the momentum of the game from your opponent completely to your side for very little to no cost to yourself. And what cards like that do for you as a player is it allows you to play reckless and allows you to play careless and be able to make up for your mistakes extremely easy. And these are the kind of plays and these are the kind of cards that me as a stun player or as a control player, I dislike them so much because my play style does not allow me to be careless. My play style doesn't allow me to be reckless and just summon a full field of monsters and just go rawr at you. No, I'm not able to do that. I have to keep a lot more control over what I'm doing because my misplays can cost me dearly, where a player playing some of these style of decks, they don't have to be quite as careful because their misplays are easily corrected. So let's get into this and let's start talking about exactly how these cards are forgiving. Grapha is a boss monster that you're able to summon just by having a Dark World monster on board. You can bounce it back to your hand to special summon Grapha from the graveyard. Now, Grapha is instantly a +1. Say I have no cards in hand and no cards on board, I can rip my Snow from the top of my deck, normal summon Snow, bounce it back to my hand to special summon Grapha. So now I've gone from one card in my hand to one card in my hand and one card on the board. He's an instant +1. If you have Gates on board, he's an instant +1. That's a 3,000 attack monster. If you don't have Gates, he's still a 2,700 attack monster. Now, what that allows you to do is now I can carelessly just go smashing into face down monsters. What do I care if it's a Snowman Eater or a Fossil Dyna or a Raikou or a number of other cards that you could use to destroy Grapha? I mean, I'm just going to go smashing into it. If it's Snowman Eater, you're going to kill it. I'm still going to kill your Snowman Eater because my attack's bigger, and then I'm just going to normal summon Snow, normal summon Beige, Brow, whatever I have in my hand, bounce it back to get my Grapha back to the board. My board has not changed a bit at very little to no cost to me. Again, that allows me to play very, very careless with him because not only is he free to bring back if you destroy him, but if you find a way to remove him, like Bottomless Trap Hole or Deep Prison, I get to play 2 more. I get to play 3 of this guy. So I'm able to play extremely careless with Grapha, just running into your monsters, just free as I will. The next, I want to talk about Hyperion. Now, Hyperion is not a +1 like Grapha. Hyperion is actually even to bring out because if I draw him off the top of my deck, I can remove my one agent from the graveyard to bring him out to the field, and that's the one card in my hand that puts one card on the field. However, you have the ability to gain pluses off of him because you can remove your fairies from your graveyard to blow up cards on your opponent's side of the field. So now I don't have to worry as much about your back rows because I can bring him out for free, remove a fairy, and just start popping off your back rows to allow me to attack directly for my 2,700. And at 2,700, he's a pretty nice beater. He can get over most any monster in the game, and if he can't get over it, I can just remove it and blow it up. The next thing that this deck has is it baits out back row like crazy, because not only do you have to worry about the Exceed monsters that I can bring out through Venus, like Gachis and Augusto Phoenixes and Dark Mist, I guess, if you want to go that route. But now you have to worry about Christia. And most of these decks are playing a Chaos build where you have to worry about my Chaos Sorcerer and my Blackluster Soldier, and all of those are extremely easy for me to make, and they're basically free for me to bring out, costing me only the monster from my hand. So what you can do with this deck is you can summon your Earth, search out your Venus, or you can summon your Venus, make your Shine Ball plays, allow these monsters to get killed. You don't have to run your back row now to protect these monsters, because you want these monsters to die. Once these monsters go to the graveyard, then you can rip your Hyperion off the top of your deck and get to summon him for free. Just remove this one from the graveyard to bring him out, and then you get to start blowing up stuff, and you get to start attacking for 2,700. Again, you get to play very careless. You don't have to protect your monsters. You can allow them to die, because your monsters dying increase the chance of your boss monsters being live. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is Machina Fortress. And where Grapha is an instant +1, Hyperion is even, Machina Fortress is actually a -1. I actually feel that Machina Fortress is probably the most skillful of these extremely forgiving cards to play, because not only do you need to discard him, but you need to discard another machine from your deck, or I'm sorry, from your hand, to special summon him. So he does -1 your hand once you bring him out. However, he has a unique ability to where if he's destroyed by battle, you can destroy a card on the field, or if he's targeted by a monster's effect, you can take a card from your opponent's hand. So he has the ability to pay for himself if he would be destroyed. And then you're also running stuff like Gear Frame, which makes him searchable, and also makes Machina Cannon searchable, which is an instant 8-star to bring him back from the graveyard, which makes him extremely good, because you can just regenerate him anytime that you need him, and just bring him back out and bring him back out and bring him back out anytime that you have the ability to discard 8 stars from your hand. And that is quite often, because a lot of the times this card is being played in decks that are running gadgets, which allows you to +1, +1, +1, continuing to add a different gadget to your hand. So bringing him back from the graveyard is not as difficult as what it really seems. But again, I do feel that he is probably the most skillful of these forgiving cards. However, again, you can easily summon him, and he does have the ability to pay for himself once he is summoned. One thing that I want to point out with this, since I brought out the Gear Frame, all of these cards are searchable. You can get Fortress through Gear Frame, you can get Grapha through Snow, and in some situations you can get Hyperion through Earth. So not only are these guys excellent boss monsters, but they're also searchable through the cards that also came in the structure deck. And that's another great point to point out here, is that does it seem like it's a coincidence that all these cards came out of structure decks? For the price of 3 structure decks, which is $30, you can take an unskillful player and give him overpowered cards, which will instantly make him competitive at a local tournament. Now, Konami, I don't know if that is good or bad for the game. I see where you're able to allow players to be competitive instantly, which makes them more interested in the game, which brings more players into the game, makes them good faster, which makes them more interested in playing the game. However, I almost fear that you're watering down the skill in the game when you bring in these decks like this that are extremely forgiving to bad players. You do kind of dumb down the game. It takes a lot less skill to play these cards than it does to play other play styles or other decks. If you were to take one of the new players that come in playing one of these decks and stick them out there with, say, a Gladiator Beast deck, they would be mostly lost in what they're wanting to do. So I don't see these decks as being quite as skillful as what a lot of people see them. I just feel like Konami waters down. How do you say that, guys? I don't know. They water down the talent level in the game whenever you stick decks like this in their hands. However, if you don't allow these players to be competitive quickly, then they're just going to come week after week and get smashed, and they're going to lose interest after so many weeks of getting beat so bad. So I don't know, guys. Those are just some of my thoughts on some of these forgiving monsters. Now, once again, I mean, they could be any card to be a forgiving card. Let's not overlook stuff like Dark Hole and Monster Reborn. Maybe Call the Haunted in there. Again, just very, very forgiving cards in this game. So I want you guys to think of some of your own forgiving cards and comment down below. Maybe make a response video to this and let me know what you guys think about this subject. And like always, guys, I appreciate it. Subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.